What's going on, y'all? Mike C-Town here. Here with another concert review. This time, I will be talking about my experience seeing the bands Deafheaven and Marriages. They played last week at this place called the Earl in Atlanta, which is awesomely I don't know, 5 minutes from my house. And as you guys know by now, I'm a dick. I tend to skip over the opening bands, so I didn't catch the very first band, and I actually don't even remember what their name was. But if you're watching this first band, I apologize for being a douchebag. Anyway, I walked in and it was actually pretty crowded. I was surprised by the turnout. Last time I'd seen Deafheaven, they played with Alcé at another club right by my house. And it was packed, but I assumed that was for Alcé. Anyway, walked in during the first song of Marriages. I was trying to get to the other side of the club to get a drink. And I'm not even sure if I should be telling you this, but I'm going to anyway. I actually walked right by a little person that was oddly rave dancing. He was by himself, it seemed like. I didn't take a picture like I did with the Hug and Heshers because I felt like this would be slightly offensive, but I had to mention that. Not that a little person at a show is weird. Not that a dancing little person at a show is weird, but a dancing little person rave dancing at this type of show is weird. I almost thought for a hot second, did someone put some kind of drug in my drink? Did my girlfriend roofie me before I left the house? Did she sneak a shroom into my PBJ? Or am I just going fucking crazy? But I'm pretty sure it actually happened and it was in, real life. Let's move on. Marriages, I never listened to them before this tour, but I have to say they're really, really, really good. They have a really interesting sound, some really pretty guitars, some heavier guitars. They have a sound a little bit similar to Chelsea Wolfe. And let's talk about the bass player. He played bass, and I didn't get close enough, so it seemed like he was playing some sort of keyboard or something like that. The bass player had some really, really, really cool riffs. Or maybe I just noticed them more because the guitars were so fucking low. That's my only gripe with the entire performance of these guys. The guitar was so low I could barely hear it. Either way, they had a pretty rad sound. And can I say, the singer was just absolutely adorable. She had the same haircut as my girlfriend. I don't know, it's probably sexist and shitty for me to even comment on that, but fuck, man, I'm a guy, for the most part. Anyway, great band, great atmosphere. I definitely want to pick up some of their records now, based on their live performance. So yeah, if you have not gone to see Deafheaven and they're coming through your town, make sure you get there early so you can see Marriages, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. Of course, they're not black metal, but they are definitely an interesting band. I would consider going back and seeing them again if they came through town. Next up, of course, was Deafheaven. First thing, let me say, man, the shirts these guys had on, they made me happy. The bass player was wearing a His Hero's Gone shirt. The guitar player was wearing a Godflesh shirt, and the drummer was wearing a Misfits shirt. That might seem stupid and superficial to most people, but to us weird music nerds, that shit's fucking cool. They played mostly stuff off their new record, starting out with the track Dream House. And they didn't even talk, man. They just came out, looked around at the audience, tuned their guitars a little bit, and just fucking went into it, man. And they played that shit with precision. It sounded like the record. It had the same incredible atmosphere, that same awesome, black metal buzz that we all seem to enjoy. After Dreamhouse, they went on to play some other newer songs like Sunbather, and they played Pecan Tree. They also threw in a couple old tracks. Unrequited, Violet, they played as an encore, which I thought was pretty cool. They had some technical difficulties. One of the guitar players' strap kept falling off, and I was like, man, that must suck. Then the other guitar player, his guitar string broke in like the middle of the song, and he actually stopped to swap it out. That shit happened to me when I was in my old band. Our guitar player, his guitar string broke, and I remember calling him a pussy for stopping and actually swapping out the string. But that's the difference between being some sloppy, stupid wannabe metal band and an actual band that gives a fuck about how you sound live. I will say, the singer of Deafheaven, he absolutely carried the show. His stage presence, fucking amazing. His voice sounded perfect. The intensity of his voice, you could feel every line. Like, every time he grabbed the mic and just, it was just like you were focused on him. He was just entrancing. He had the full outfit on, the full metal gear with the all black with the motorcycle gloves. I was like, man, this dude's fucking serious, right? Not to say that the guitar players and the bass player, that they weren't great as well. They were. But, watching them, they weren't like jumping around the stage or flailing their guitars around. They were just playing. So your focus was primarily on the singer, who was doing a lot of just intense screaming. One thing about the guitar players, man, they were really tight. The transition between like the heavier parts and some of the clean guitar parts, I thought they were flawless. And the sound effects they used, they just sounded great. So, you kind of give them slack when it comes to not putting on a crazy performance if what they're playing sounds great. I've seen a million hardcore bands in my life. I've seen a million punk rock bands in my life. I've seen a million grindcore bands in my life. So I've seen enough guitars flailing. I've seen enough jumping around. I've seen enough rolling on the ground of bands. So I don't really need that from everybody. And the drummer, or maybe that's just me, but I thought the kit was really small for what he was playing. But either way, he sounded fucking great. And one thing I picked up on, dude, this guy was playing double kick with one foot. Like, I've seen people do that occasionally, and when I was watching him, I thought he was like doing some weird, like, I don't know, I thought he was just doing like some weird James Brown thing with one foot. But then that's when I noticed it. I was like, what the hell, man? He doesn't even have a double kick pedal. He's playing this shit with one foot. What the fuck? That's rad to me. Sorry, I mean, it's not important, but it's still rad. Overall, man, these guys put on a great show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're into Deafheaven, or if you've never even heard Deafheaven and you kind of like black metal, or you're into just heavy music in general, or screamo, whatever, man, give these guys a shot. They were fucking great. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my reviews. All right. Thank you for living. Thank you for loving. Thank you for being you. Peace, bitches. Oh yeah, forgot something. Celebrity sighting. Okay, yeah, that's not really Macklemore, but you believed it for a second. You know you did.